Hi guys, my name's Lauren. I'm one of the leaders here at Campus Collective, and I'm here to give the Motivational Monday for the week. And I'm going to be in 2 Corinthians 12, and we're going to start in verse 7. And this is Paul, and I want you to listen to what he's talking about with a thorn, what God says to him, and the way he responds. So we're going to start in verse 7 where it says, "So to keep me from becoming conceited, because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me, to keep me from becoming conceited. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me. But he said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness.'" And so I want to stop right there before going on and just really sit on this verse that God said. He says, "My grace is sufficient for you." And you might be thinking, what is grace? And I kind of want to give a little analogy behind that. So say you go into a store and you try to steal something. A store owner can be like, "Oh my goodness, like you try to steal this. I could call the cops, but I'm not." That would be mercy. But grace would be, "I'm not going to call the cops, but here, take what you were going to steal and leave." And he's getting more than what he deserves. And so God does the same thing for us. In Romans 5, it talks about how God, even when we were sinners, Jesus still died for us. He was perfect. He was sinless, but he took on the sin for us so that we can be reconciled with the Lord. And so that is what God is just reminding Paul of. It's like, my grace is sufficient for you. I've done what I've done for you, Paul, and I want you to sit on that. And so Paul then goes on and says, "Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong." And we know from this that we can be content because of his grace. I think most times, even myself, it's easy to sometimes be like, man, this is going on in my life, this is hard. But what God's just reminding Paul of is that take everything that is going on in your life, put it at the foot of the cross, and say, "God, your grace is sufficient for me, so I can be content in all circumstances." And that really reminds me of Philippians 4, where we're going to look at starting at verse 11, where it says, "Not that I am speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I'm to be content. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstances, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and facing hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me." And so I'm not trying to dwindle what's going on in your life, but what God's really calling you to do is take whatever you are going through, put it at his feet and say, "Your grace is sufficient for me."